All right, everybody, we're going to start our program. Trying to stay on time to get you guys home at an early hour tonight. Just thank you to Jimmy's and their staff. If you could help me give them a round of applause for their great meal. We're just really grateful to have such an awesome event center right in our own community. So thank you to all of you. Also, before I forget, the centerpieces on your table, they've been sponsored by Lake Area Bank. So underneath one of your chairs, I think, is a sticker. So one of you gets to take home some flowers for yourself tonight. So check on that. Okay. All right. So at this time, I have the honor of giving you just a little snapshot of some of the significant business highlights that have been in our community in the past few months. I especially just want to say happy anniversary to two companies. One is Innovise. Happy 60th anniversary. Congratulations. And we want to say happy 80th birthday to IC Systems. Awesome, yeah. And then I also wanted to highlight that H.B. Fuller celebrated its 15th anniversary on the New York Stock Exchange recently. Their team had a great time ringing the closing bell. So now I'd like to take a couple minutes and just honor the significant new business developments. Especially want to recognize the Davis Group and some of their recent investments in our community and in nearby communities. The first one is the specialty clinic in Maplewood. This building has 148,000 square feet, and it has won several awards, including the recent Award of Excellence from NIOP, Minnesota, which is the local National Commercial Real Estate Association. And this really is a tremendous regional asset for our community. So congratulations, Davis and Health East. And then you're going to see them again here in the next slide. Davis has been very busy in our community building a new Vadnais Heights Health East clinics on Highway 96. This clinic features a lot of elements that are, can we go back, Brian? The Health East clinic features a lot of elements that were from the patients themselves. So a lot of innovative things going on in that building. The next thing is Davis also developed, they've been busy in our community, has developed the Midwest ENT building. It's in Vadnais Heights as well, and I know some of the folks are here with us tonight, so welcome to the community. Next, I'd like to welcome Tradition Bank. They just opened up in North Oaks and have gotten involved with the VHEDC, so we want to make sure we welcome them. I think there's a slide, Brian. There you go. North Oaks on Highway 96. And then our most recent business development in Vadnais Heights. It's not quite open yet. It's going to be open on December 17th, but we are very excited to welcome Spire Credit Union into our community. So thank you for being here. Brian, you want to change the slide? Thank you. So it's still under construction, but it's going to be done very soon. So thank you. Next, I'd just like to talk more about the workforce shortages in the community. I'm sure a lot of your businesses are experiencing workforce shortages. We have a very strategic partnership with an organization called Upturnships. They're able to connect our businesses with underutilized students who are in college who are under-resourced as well. And so if you're looking to diversify your workforce and talent pool with interns next summer, please let us know. I know Caring Bridge, our keynote speaker, they've used Upturnships, and it's just a really tremendous organization. We have a couple people here from them here tonight, and I'd love to tell you more about that. Midwest One, Innovise, and Schwing participated this year. And then secondly, I'd like to share really one of our most passionate things that our board's really passionate about is our Gen Z Connections program. If you're not familiar with this is a partnership between the VHEDC and the White Bear Lake Schools. It wouldn't be possible without supporters like Comcast, the Education Foundation, the American Mold Builders Association, and companies like Moldcraft in the community who've helped fund this program. Essentially, what we've done is we've put kids under the age of 18 into manufacturing jobs. And some of those companies are here today, and I'm excited to share more about this program with you. Team Vantage, Pace Industries, Specialty Manufacturing, Schwing America. Also, we have 4 more companies. Renstrom Dental, Lasix, Moldcraft, and Superior Machines. So I think a video is worth 1,000 words, so I'm going to let you watch what some of the students were able to do this summer.
My name is Jeremy Kurg. I'm a career counselor and career navigator for the White Bear Lake School District. I help perform a program called Career Pathways, which is our programs that provide experiential learning opportunities, classroom opportunities, and field trip opportunities for 4 major industries.
So manufacturing is growing, where the career opportunities are enormous. We're all looking to develop people and skills and looking for qualified people to work on highly technical jobs, on working on components and products that matter to people on a daily basis. So Team Vantage is participating in the Pathways Gen Z program. It's because it's an opportunity to demonstrate what we do to the next generation of employees, and it gives our employees a chance to interface with the next generation of workers that will make us successful in the years to come.
The Gen Z program got started when I met the career navigator at the White Bear Area High School. He invited Schwing America and several other businesses to consider bringing kids into our manufacturing space and teaching them what it's like to work in manufacturing. Of course, the challenge is that up until this time, kids under the age of 18 were not allowed to work in manufacturing. The school identified students who could come out to our manufacturing space and who had an interest in pursuing a career in manufacturing. So they came to work at our companies. They worked for a week at a time and spent about 20 hours in each company learning the ins and outs of manufacturing.
I think it's a great opportunity for the students to be educated in the field, and we feel we're preparing the students for the workforce.
Moldcraft participates in the Gen Z program because it's important to expose kids to manufacturing in general. We're trying to get past the thought that it's dark, dirty, and dangerous, and show them that it really is high tech. Also, our employees, as they are doing this, they rise to another level, teaching these kids and really showing the excitement that Moldcraft is and that manufacturing is, that I didn't expect to see when we originally set out to do this program.
Economic Development Association of Minnesota Partnership Award. We're pretty proud of that. And also, you know, why should we all care in the room? Some of you aren't manufacturers, but for every one manufacturing job that we preserve in our community, it's 2.3 other jobs that are in support industries. So we obviously all want to take care of that industry in our community. So thank you to those businesses. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to introduce our president, our VHEDC president, Debbie Gustafson, to present our annual dinner awards for the year. Thank you, Debbie. Oh, I'm going to. And then we're going to have Eric Johans from IC Systems. He's currently our vice president. Come up and help me too. Thanks.
I want to thank everyone for coming here tonight to celebrate with our business community. Thank you to the many businesses and partners, organizations for the continued support of VHEDC and everything we try to accomplish. We're excited to celebrate this year's accomplishments and look to the future. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the board of directors for the VHEDC. If everyone would stand, please. I'd like to thank them for their many hours of service. It's a group of very dedicated individuals from our greater community who care deeply about our mission of enhancing the economic development of our area and through the support of businesses and industries. Tonight we honor 3 organizations for their contribution to our community. Our first award is the VHEDC Keith Warner Standard of Excellence Award. Keith is a former executive director for VHEDC, and his commitment and service were a big part of his lasting legacy. Please join me in watching this video about this year's Keith Warner Standard of Excellence Award winner.
NAC was founded in 1984. It was strictly a service company when it was originally started. From them, they've blossomed into a couple $1 million company to a $150 million company that employs over 350 people. We're very diverse, so we're mechanical, electrical, plumbing, sheet metal, fabrication, and technology, which includes building automation, security access, and video systems for commercial and industrial clients. So overall, out of the 350 employees, roughly 100 are on campus here. We have 2 buildings. The original building was built that we own the whole campus site here. Fabrication was built in 2012, 2013, and we moved our fabrication from across the street over into this facility. We've since then added a lot of pipe fabrication, ductwork fabrication places. So we try to fabricate as much of our equipment on site before we take it out so we can shorten the job cost, improve the quality, and make sure the clients are getting exactly what they need on time.
So NAC, as you can see in the background here, is all computer drawn. We cut our lengths back at the shop, at the fabrication shop, and then we bring them out here for installation. Sheet metal, everything is pretty much laid out ahead of time. There's no field verification takes place after the drawings are produced through the computer system.
So it's something we continue to strive with for community involvement. It's always something we end up supporting our clients and their needs. We really look at, we were talking about earlier, the healthcare side, mental health being a huge problem in our society. So Hennepin County, they have a huge event each year that we're involved in. We've been involved in for many, many years. Park Nicola Foundation also has a huge event, as well as United Way. We're involved with that with Land O'Lakes. So a lot of times we find ourselves supporting our corporate clients and their needs, and then our employees can get involved through that.
We work really hard at getting a community together within our company and our employees. We do various projects. We do Ramsey County. We do presents for the kids and families. We'll hear about things. Phelan ice rink, outdoor ice rink a few years back lost. Someone stole all the copper. We end up replacing that system for them.
So Heat's On program is something that we do every year. It's volunteer by our union members. So our union members sign up and they volunteer. This last year we had 7 mechanics utilize our trucks, and we pay for the parts and service. They go out to needy families that can't afford to have their services done on their furnaces and possibly air conditioners, and they make sure they're safe. They don't want any carbon monoxide or anything like that, and people die from that every year. And if they don't check these furnaces, that could just be another casualty. So they go out there, they volunteer an entire day on a Saturday and service as many as they can. This year I think they had over 200 people volunteer across the union, 455 local. Great program. Our employees love doing it. They love to get involved in it. So we got a strong turnout every year on that. Century College has really offered up an opportunity for NAC to get involved locally, and we look at building automation as a hard thing to find employees for. So we go over there and we actually teach their students on exactly how to work with building automation, how to facilitate servicing it and maintaining it. Helps us find a line for potential employees that we can then go hire, but also helps them secure more work after the fact because they're a little bit more diverse in their resume, and they can actually go out and say they can work on automation systems and Allerton specifically. And then our employees go over there and they volunteer their time to actually help facilitate the class and the curriculum and train the trainer type programs.
Congratulations to NAC Mechanical and Electrical. At this time, I'd like to have Lynn Bishop, owner of NAC Mechanical and Electrical, come up and accept this award. And I actually had the honor of working with Lynn on the financing for his newest building. So, congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, thanks.
All right, our next award is the VHEDC Excellence Award. We give this award out each year to an area business as a special recognition of their ability to thrive and support in the local economy. Please join me in watching this video about this year's VHEDC Business Excellence Award.
Dynamic Air has been in Vadnais Heights since 1977, but was started in a one-car garage in 1969. The owner, Jim Steele, created the business based on some need he saw for conveying type equipment. Dynamic Air is primarily involved in pneumatic conveying. That was primarily our start. We started with doing foundry type equipment, that type of stuff in the late 60s, early 70s. We've since moved into really doing anything with dry material. Might be mixing, might be drying, might be unloading. So a lot of your stuff, breakfast cereals. Cheerios is one of our customers. We convey the material. Carbon black guitar plants is another thing. And it's really all centered around those dry material handling. Everything from mixing, drying, cooling, you name it, we do it. Biggest thing we're proud of is our innovation. We're very innovative in terms of not doing it as everybody else is. We're trying to add something to each piece of equipment we design. Every one of the piece of equipment, our standard approach is improve quality, reduce cost, and reduce time to build. And usually we can do all three of those and really end up with a good product. Our market is everything from a little one or two person operation all the way to Fortune 500. So some big companies, soap manufacturers, that type of stuff are our company. Almost all the tire manufacturers utilize our equipment to move carbon black and stuff at their plants. So it's everything from little operations to big operations. And I think that's the other thing is our success is that we're not afraid to take a little job, and we're not afraid to do a big job. So it might be something that's literally one little piece of something that maybe fits on a table to all the way to a whole plant. secret of our success is really our people, and that everybody, we don't leave anything on the table at any time. We're very tenacious about trying to improve products, and we're not afraid to continually raise the bar. And that's everybody from our design group all the way out to the welders, to the assemblers, and everybody really is pushing on to raise that at all times.
Congratulations, Dynamic Air. At this time, I'd like to ask Mark Connor, Vice President of Engineering and Manufacturing at Dynamic Air, to come up and accept the award.
We'd just like to say a big thanks. We are here in the community, and so I've worked at Dynamic Air for 31 years. It was my first job out of school, which is kind of odd nowadays, but so we've been in the community since 1977, and to see where Vadnais Heights has come, it's just really fun. So we did an addition that we saw a little bit in that video 2 years ago, and it was really a wonderful experience. My first real experience working kind of in that government, working on that. It was nothing but wonderful, and I can only brag to people about that. So we've got a great community here, and I think we should all just be really thankful. So thank you so much.
All right, our last award. Each year, VHEDC honors an organization with a partnership award in recognition of those who innovate and collaborate with us to achieve our mission. Please join me in watching this video about this year's VHEDC Partnership Award winner.
We're going to build something together with business and industry, and that is what we need to grow. I also want to grow practical learning experiences for our students. It is important that they hit the job running day one because they are highly prepared and have experienced the workforce climate and environment as much as they have in an educational environment.
While working at Innovize, we had a need for summer students, and we were actually looking for quite a few. So we brought 6 students in from Century College, and it worked out fantastic. In a company that's looking for engineering students especially, to get involved in the Industrial Advisory Board, because that way you have a voice and you really have the ability to have an impact on the curriculums.
Well, the Fab Lab is a real important part of the college from a partnership perspective. We have a lot of people that come in here with ideas that they want to prototype. We have a lot of business and industry partners that sit on our advisory committees and steering committees, and they actually come in and talk with students, and they hire a lot of students as interns for the summer or during the work year. Well, Century College Fab Lab, I think, plays a critical role in helping prepare students for the digital economy that we're currently in. But I think more importantly, it helps our students to have an appreciation for how the technology is evolving.
We work together, these partnerships, to help build the pipeline for jobs and bridging the skills gap in Minnesota and in our region. We do that because we can learn what we need to teach in order to train the workforce. So that's why these partnerships are key and critical, not only to me, but in the value of elevating us in the community as someone to go to or some entity to go to that is an education provider that can do the work we need to do to train our workforce. After being president for over a year, I've learned that this community is highly engaged and involved, and Century is highly engaged and involved with the community. We work together on various aspects of growing the college, learning more about what we do here at Century, contributing all throughout the community. So it's been a great year. Our community was involved in our 50th anniversary celebration of celebrating and transforming lives for 50 years. So we're really happy to be here and really happy to have the community engaged with us. We can't do this work alone. We have to do it in the community, and Century is here for the community.
Congratulations to Century College. This time I'd like to ask Angelina Millender, President of Century College, to come up and accept the award. I'd also like to specifically recognize Larry Raditz, who is an employee of Century College who serves on our board.
I want to say thank you on behalf of Century College. We are so happy to be in this space and partnering with all of you in this room. I want to reach my hand out in graciousness and welcome to invite you to partner with us in whatever way that we can so that we can build a strong workforce. But I would be remiss today if I didn't ask the people of Century College to stand with me. So please stand so that I can acknowledge all the work that you do with us to make this a great educational institution. I don't know why they won't stand. I owe my gratitude to them. We sit in the seat as a president of an institution or a company, and we are just one person in that organization. It's the people that we work with that make us strong and put us together and keep that connection going. So thank you so much for welcoming Century and being and recognizing us today. It truly is an honor. And we have our students here too that volunteered for this event, so I want to give a special thanks to them because we do all this work for you so you can be vibrant in this community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, at this time, we're going to transition to our keynote, but first I'd like to introduce Prabha Mansfager. He is the CEO of and president of Cache Software, a locally owned and operated software company focused on the home health care industry. Cache provides data-driven technologies for smarter care, which makes a difference in the lives of people in need every day. Cache's products are used by agencies that serve both the aging population and adults with disabilities to over 350 agencies and 35,000 lives in just Minnesota alone. And they are speaker sponsor for the evening. So thank you.
Thank you, Ling. How about a big round of applause for Ling and the rest of the team that put this together? And I have the esteemed honor of introducing Liwanag Ojala, who is the she's like, yeah, you got that right. Who is the CEO of CaringBridge. And CaringBridge, and how many of you have used or have had interaction or have been touched by CaringBridge? And I'll put my hand up 6 times because that's how many times I've been on CaringBridge over the last 15 years. And I'm very thankful for that. Thank you. And CaringBridge, the first and most widely used global nonprofit social network dedicated to helping families and friends communicate and support loved ones during a health journey. Before joining CaringBridge as COO and then CEO, she served as a VP of e-commerce at Meijer and responsible for Meijer.com and developing the multi-channel strategy. She was also the former president of the startup Pear Tree Greeting, president of Simon Delivers, and general manager of Corbin Delivers. Liwanag practiced law with the firm of Briggs & Morgan, and then served as an in-house counsel at Spartan Nash, and graduated from the University of Minnesota. Hey, local. Very nice. Law School and Northwestern University. Over the years, Liwanag has been selected as a recipient of Minnesota Business Magazine Power 50 Award, Minneapolis-St. Paul Journal 40 Under 40, as well as the top emerging women leader in healthcare by Women's Health Leadership Trust. In addition to her leadership at CaringBridge, she serves on the board as the Board of Trustees of Minnesota Public Radio and American Public Media. Join me in welcoming Liwanag.
Actually, I'm going to try this. I do, but I'm just going to keep it up here in case. Good evening. Brian, you're going to tell me whether my mic is on in a second here. How do I sound? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. I feel like I'm on a commercial when I say that phrase. Thank you so much for having me here. I am so impressed by this center, by what I've heard about your community. Frankly, I'll have to say I haven't spent as much time in this part of the Twin Cities as I should. I used to be a Northeasterner, but don't get up this way as much as I wish I could. So first of all, is it possible to turn this light on? Because one of the things I discovered when I turned 46 this year is that all of a sudden the sight goes. Do you know this problem, any of you? But it's like I was very proud of my sight for many, many years, but I thought if somebody could turn this light on when you get a chance, that would be awesome. Okay, as this lovely gentleman who I had a chance to talk to during dinner, thank you for the conversation. We're going to try to figure out how we might partner together in the future. Thank you. I'm very proud to be the CEO of CaringBridge, and I want to thank you so much for the invitation to speak to you tonight. I really am very grateful for the Vadnais Heights Economic Development Corporation Board, its leadership team, and anybody who knows Ling knows it's very hard to say no to her when she invites you somewhere. So I thank you, Ling, for your partnership and the invitation. I also want to congratulate the award winners again this evening because there are several themes I'm going to talk about that came up in their speeches, and I really appreciate the opportunity to just reiterate what people in your own community already believe. So thank you again, and congratulations to the award winners again. I also want to thank the people who are part of their organization. So I appreciated that opportunity to, give thanks and congratulate the people who work in your organizations, because as the CEO of CaringBridge, I'm honored to have the opportunity on many occasions to accept awards on behalf of CaringBridge, but I'm always very cognizant that it takes every single person at CaringBridge and our organization to do what we do and produce the results and the goodness that we produce. So I really, really believe, and this is a common theme of what I'm going to talk about tonight, that one person can really, really make a difference, not only to their community, but also to the world. And just this week, you made a difference with your votes. What a state we live in, my goodness. There were 2.6 million approximately votes cast this week, and that's people exercising their right and participating in our process. And I just want to thank you for that act, that single act, which really does make a difference for our nation. So thank you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about CaringBridge. There were a lot of hands that went up. Thank you for using CaringBridge. I really hope it made a difference to you. We were founded in Eagan in 1997, and it's an example of something that was created by a single person that served her friends, her community, and now the world. And that single contribution to her family was created from a single website to support her friends who were experiencing the agony of a premature baby being born, and that baby's name was Bridget. Bridget would be 21 years old today. Very sadly, she only lived for 9 days. And frankly, Sana, our founder, Sana Mering, she called that very first website Caring for Bridget. And Bridget's legacy is what we now know today as CaringBridge, and we honor her memory by serving over 27 million unique visitors a year. Thank you for that. I didn't do that, my team does that. But every single day, over 200,000 people will visit a CaringBridge site. And so our mission is to ensure that no one goes through a health journey alone. And so we have a lot of work to do. Those are fairly impressive numbers, but I always think about the number of people who are diagnosed with cancer today, or a premature baby born today, or somebody who needs a lung transplant today. So we have lots more work to do to make sure people are not alone, but I would say it's a good start. And today, we're the most widely used global social network focused on health. And let me add that CaringBridge is a terrific example of Minnesota moxie, because through the dramatic shifts in technology, the different ways that people use digital over the last 3 decades, we remain a very vibrant, safe, and secure place on the internet, entirely focused on health. And we're a very, very early example of some of the digital innovation that some of the speakers tonight spoke about. We were before Facebook. We were actually before the pervasive use of email, before Google, before Twitter, Snapchat, and all of that. So today, we continue to remain a trusted Minnesota organization, which is very important to us. And we're really proud of our ability to serve patients, caregivers, and the communities that care about them in Minnesota and all around the world. And I want to share with you 3 examples of people who use CaringBridge. Brian, if you would just put up that first image. There you go. There's Brian. Brian lives in Eagan. He shared his journey when he was hit by a car. He had a car accident, and it was a hit-and-run driver. And when you talk to him today, and he's doing great, by the way, when you talk to him today, one of the benefits of him using CaringBridge is he found forgiveness through his journal. And he talks about that experience being so important to him, not just getting through the health journey, but continuing for the rest of his life. And he found forgiveness by writing every day at CaringBridge. Another example on the next slide is Gavin, this animated young man who's just terrific. He named his brain tumor Joe Bully, and because he thought that's a perfect name for a brain tumor for a nice kid like me. And his mother used CaringBridge to find comfort and support through his multiple surgeries, including one he's going to be having in 2 weeks. So we're wishing him well and hoping the best for him during his treatment. And then finally, the third photo is a gentleman, Kevin, who he attempted suicide. He and his mother found healing in sharing their story and are now advocates for suicide prevention. So many of you know CaringBridge through specific instances in your own life, but I just wanted to share a few of the images of people that are using the service today. And these photographs, which are really beautiful, came out of a partnership we had with David McLean, who is a photographer from National Geographic. He's also a documentarian, and he worked with us on a program last year called How We Heal, where we went around the country to photograph and interview CaringBridge users to better understand how they found healing. So it was a very fantastic project that we worked on, and the videos and the images are available at caringbridge.org in the resources section. So check that out. It's quite moving. CaringBridge has helped these families and over 740,000 families like them in our 21-year history. So if you've ever used CaringBridge, that site is there for you to return to whenever you choose. We make it a point to make sure we do not retire sites. We think people's journeys are longer than we want to dictate, and so we make all of those available for whenever you want to revisit them. I'm going to go off script here and tell you a brief little story. I was at a healthcare venture capital conference because I like to see the entrepreneurs pitch. It's really fun. And the gentleman standing next to me said, we used CaringBridge for when my triplets were born. And I said, oh, how are they doing? He said, they're 15. And I said, that's great. His name's Dave. And I said, Dave, that's great. You know, you should have them read it. And he said, oh, I didn't know you could do that. And I said, he said, I don't know my username, my password. I said, here's my card. Call customer care or call me. So I gave him the card, and 2 weeks later, he sent me an email, and he said, you have no idea the equity I got as a parent to hear from my children about the voice that I used and the language I used to articulate how I felt about these 3 humans that we brought into the world. So just a little tip. There's lots of reasons to go back to your CaringBridge site, even though you're not using it right now. Okay. We are very grateful for what Sana created, but back to a theme I heard earlier, she did not do it alone. And so last year, 100,000 donors made a gift to our nonprofit, and the vast majority of those are individuals who value what we do, and they made a donation. And there are many donors in this room. Some of you I know, some of you I don't know, but I want to thank you because what you're investing in is the reduction of isolation for people in health. And that's really important. So I thank you, and allowing those folks to be surrounded by the people that love them and support them during a very vulnerable time in life is really important. So thank you. I'm also very grateful, and Brian, I think this is the last slide of my team. That's our team in our bright, shiny new t-shirts that we just recently got. There's 43 of us running a 24/7 social network for the past 21 years, as I've mentioned, and I want to compare that to the 25,000 employees who currently work at Facebook. We are proud that we are not Facebook, an ad-based revenue model for-profit organization, and there's nothing wrong with them doing business, but we are very different than what they do. And I only share the comparison to demonstrate that we really need to have really, really good people on our team to produce what we do. And I'm so very proud of these folks. In fact, just this month for Give to the Max Day, this group of people pulled $10,000 of their own money to, and frankly, senior leadership team was very little of that, because they care so deeply what we do, and they are doing a match from our own employees for Give to the Max Day. So they're just awesome, awesome people. So, and they really make the difference for the service that many of you have used. And beyond our donors and employees, at the heart of our business is the power of you all, the power of people. And I've learned in my time at Caring-Bridge over the last 4 years that relationships are strengthened and illuminated when people need their people the most. The magic of what happens at Caring-Bridge, and you've seen it if you've used the service, happens because people come together, they support each other, they care about each other, and that magic happens because people are willing to be open and vulnerable and authentic. And companies, organizations, communities, they are also stronger if they are willing to be open, vulnerable, and authentic. And when they're willing to talk about things that are really hard and go through things that are hard, but they're honest in their conversation, and sometimes it's very raw, but it can be still respectful and still illuminate the clarity of the importance of community. So it's really difficult in life when you don't have those people around you who are going to fight with you, advocate for you, and so people really make that difference. And there's simple acts that I've seen every single day at Caring-Bridge sites that I follow that really do make the difference. Bringing someone a meal, sitting with them, making sure they don't forget who they are. These are things that caregivers are challenged with every single day. But I see how these moments make a difference to families. And so right now, you probably know someone in your life who could use any one of these things I mentioned. Just they want to be thought of. They want to be heard. They want to be made sure people didn't forget about them. And at work, you also have these opportunities too, by the way. Take the time to listen and understand your people beyond their job. Bill George, the former Medtronic CEO who spoke to this group I know in the past, he just shared last week on LinkedIn something that caught my eye, and I want to quote him here. Quote, relationships between leaders and their teams is the foundation on which organizational results are built. Authentic leaders connect with every member of their team. Without cultivating solid relationships, there is no growth, end quote. And I absolutely agree with Bill. Some of the best parts of my day are when I get to interact with my team to better understand what they care about and understand a little bit more about each of them. And what an opportunity you have as a leader, just a chance to demonstrate your humanity where you spend a significant part of your day and strengthen the relationships you have with your own employees. And every single day, I'm amazed by the power of people to spread love, hope, and compassion. And as I read these updates, I am personally moved by the goodness and empathy that I believe is really inherent in each of us. The power of community is a message I hope that you will take away from my talk. And when people come together, they work together, they support each other, they love each other. For some reason, business leaders can't talk about the word love. I don't know why. Love each other, positive things can happen. Since CaringBridge is at this intersection of healthcare and digital and nonprofit, we need skills and lenses that represent all aspects of our community to create something that's meaningful, lasting, and impactful to as many people as possible. And I want to just force you to think a little bit differently about what a community means. It doesn't need to look the way that it did before in the past. You know, business models and technology continue to change, so that means new opportunities will emerge. Last month I spoke at a healthcare conference on the subject of convergence. That's how multiple forces are coming together, which make us think differently about how to better serve other people. And I have 2 examples of that I want to share with you. Earlier this year, I was at a South Carolina healthcare network, and I spoke to an executive there about how she was concerned about the number of patients who were not attending their follow-up appointments and the higher incidence of poor health outcomes for folks who did not follow up with their appointments. And the data showed that the transportation was the main cause. And so what they did is they partnered with Uber in order to get people to their appointments. And that partnership would not have been possible a year ago, because even though Uber's 8 years old, they didn't get to South Carolina until a year ago. And that is a partnership that they would not have imagined, 1 year ago. And I have another example for you that this is CaringBridge specific. We discovered a few years ago that at CaringBridge, so many people wanted to fundraise for their own medical expenses. And I won't comment on the state of affairs for the number of people who have to raise their own money to pay for health care. That's a different talk. But we don't do that at CaringBridge, but we partnered with GoFundMe to make sure that if people want that, they can find that on CaringBridge and embed their GoFundMe site into their CaringBridge experience. And so, again, that was a relationship where we're not going to go build GoFundMe, but let's partner with a best-in-class organization who does it to better serve our users. And what's the lesson I'm trying to share here? The world of strategic partners continues to expand as innovation accelerates, and we need to be more creative about what those partnerships look like. I just learned about Gen Z today. I mean, that is an example of a fantastic creative partnership, and it takes leaders to think and be open to these different kinds of unconventional ways that we might partner together to do better together, just do better together. And I really want to ask you to be open to those possibilities. And I'm going to shift a bit here. As the world changes, people are using all sorts of technology. So you have to keep asking yourself, what do your consumers want and where are they? How are consumers interacting with your business, your brand, and the messaging that you're putting out? So as more and more people are using technology to accomplish their needs and using multiple forums, so not just mobile, but also voice, watches, virtual reality in some cases, this is going to require leaders to make new investments and commitments. And this is always hard because you want to invest in the thing that you need to accomplish in the next 12 to 18 months. But frankly, it does take deliberate investment and a culture of trying new things, deliberate pilots to test and learn and fail and then not keep doing it, and employees who are willing to want to be in that culture. So these are really complex investments sometimes. They unfortunately do not give a quick return on investment for you business people. But it does require some foresight to say, I'm going to invest in this and try it. Because if you don't do that, you will end up in a situation that you don't want to be in your business. So the recent news about Sears, which personally made me very sad because that's where my dad used to get all our power tools. It was once a compelling brand, and it was beloved, frankly. It just didn't innovate in the ways the consumers demanded. And that's a cautionary tale for all of us. So there's lots of examples of companies like that. BlackBerry, Blockbuster, Kodak, those are all brands that at one point you utilized what they were producing, and then you found value in a better offering or a digital offering. And so you really have to be careful that you're not making those investments too late. Our ability to form creative partnerships, compelling to users, embrace technology utilized by our consumers, and the strength of conviction to invest in long-term strategies are what's going to help this community and other communities prosper. So I'm going to take a little detour, if I may. I'm going to share a little bit about my own journey. I'm a first-generation Asian American. My parents immigrated from the Philippines in the late 1960s, and which means I'm a minority in this country. I'm a woman, I'm a college graduate, I'm a lawyer, I'm a hockey mom, and I'm a former for-profit business executive. And I started this by saying that I was very proud to be the CEO of CaringBridge. And all of those attributes are part of the reason I got invited this evening to speak to you. So what's my point in sharing these labels? My point in sharing these labels is that every one of us is multidimensional. And I'm the sum of these labels and many other labels, most of them nice. In today's environment and the constant media consumption, we are all using many labels. You see it in your own media feeds, wherever you get your news from which we all consciously or unconsciously draw conclusions. So right now you have employees, consumers, prospects, users of your service who also carry many labels. My daughter, Anna, she's 10, is a hockey goalie. You know, you goalie parents know. If she could be on the ice all day long, she absolutely would. And I remind her that she's also a student. She's a sister. She's a daughter with responsibilities at home. She plays the piano. And hockey is really only one part of who she is. There are many dimensions to her. But when she's on that ice and she's in that net, the only thing people care about is that she stops that puck. So the label goalie is what people see. And I can assure you that there is more than meets the eye with my daughter. So for example, she's an aspiring YouTuber. She wants to be the CEO of a company she wants to call Kumquat, where she is gonna make phones from recycled materials. So steal that business idea if you think that's a good one. She still writes letters to Santa. She wants to be an artist, or at least all of that was true just this week. So she's quite multidimensional indeed. So what's the point? I wanna ask you to think about how you are using labels around you. What labels do you see and which labels do you use, and what conscious assumptions are you making about the labels in your mind? And is the person working for you, with you, a resource to get something done? Because no, there's a lot more to them than that. It takes leadership and commitment to be curious beyond the labels in our mind. And as leaders, by the way, that's all of you, you really need to take the opportunity to explore beyond the labels in your mind and beyond the labels that we see. And I will tell you that you are going to be very surprised how much demonstrating you care and wanting to learn beyond the labels will benefit your employees, will benefit your family, your partners, your prospects, your consumers, and dare I say, you. And I challenge you to consider whether your leadership and your messaging are assuming that the labels you have in your mind are actually true, because perhaps they are not. And I want to imagine with you a world where we can look beyond labels to strengthen the relationships we have and in turn better serve others, because I think that now more than ever, we need leaders in our communities who are going to acknowledge that there are many parts to each of us. We are all human after all, and we all need compassion and understanding. And again, my guess is that all of you know a patient or caregiver in your life. Perhaps you are one. And they are multidimensional like you as well. And they need the support of their community. They need to understand that healing is possible. And we all need to make sure they are not alone. So please help me. Help those suffering in health. Don't let them continue on their own. And as one of our CaringBridge users shared with me, just walk with them. Without the drama, just be with them because they need hope. And I'm going to close with a piece of advice I received as a gift from our founder, Sana. When I was considering accepting this offer to become Sana's successor about 4 years ago and taking on the CEO role about 3 years ago, we sat in her office and we talked about the opportunities and the wonders of leading CaringBridge. And she shared with me her thoughts on the opportunities ahead, the partners who have helped us, the donors that have made our success possible for us to thrive. And I asked her, what has she enjoyed most about being CEO of CaringBridge? And I will never forget what she said to me. She looked at me directly and she said, the difference is you. The difference is you. And how right she was, because every one of us, regardless of our title, is the difference we are seeking to make so that our communities are the vibrant places that we really want to live in. So I want to say thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. I want to say thank you so much for making a difference to this community and the other communities that you're part of. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. Drive safely. Thank you.
Thank you. I think coming around your tables, thank you, Liwanag, appreciate it. Thank you for being here with us with your inspiring message. I think coming around to the tables are some fluorescent sheets that show who won silent auction items. At the end of the night, you're welcome to pay credit card or cash or check or your firstborn or whatever for us. And then we're gonna do our raffle drawing. So Becky Bjorgum, our past president, Kevin Whalen, you wanna come up and help her?